need for so much to be done. And for the longest time, it's been about adolescent girls and young women. So there's need to also include boys and to program around boys and to ensure that we're able to reach them. And to also celebrate some of the amazing successes that have happened in the response so far.
All right. Thank you. Well, just go straight to the questions. Thank you, Martin and Jerop. So my first question will be to Cleopatra. So najua tukiwa pale mtaani, we have a lot of issues, si ndio? So tunasemanga kuna vitu kama access to economic opportunities, kuna vitu ya access to maybe quality healthcare, na pia kuna story na poverty where of course kuna families haziwezi afford even 3 meals a day. So do you feel as Cleopatra poverty contributes to more teenage pregnancies ikifika pale mtaani? I hope sisi wote tuna understand teenage pregnancies, si ndio? So do we feel at some point story na social economic kama how mtu anajiweza ina contribute to more teenage pregnancy cases pale mtaani? So what are your thoughts on that?
Teenage pregnancies is one of the triple threats that we have today, and I believe that poverty is the largest contributor to these teenage pregnancies. And I'll give an example from where I come from. I'm based in Githurai, and Githurai is one of the most, zingine mingi, lakini it's one of the most areas that are considered as a slum, ama watu wanafeel, watu wako chini huko. So most of the young girls that you are working with at the community level, they are teenage mothers and adolescent girls, and you'll find them getting involved. They have lack to access to education, and this is one of the contributors that is making them get involved with maybe young men or rather older men, and they are getting at the risk of the teenage pregnancies, HIV infections, and we are equally finding them engaging and getting involved in drug abuse. We equally have the problem of access to healthcare, and you'll find most of these girls, kama hakuna pesa huwezi enda hospitali. Utamwambia mpaka go and access family planning, atakwambia nitaenda hapo niitisho hiyo 100, mimi sina hiyo 100. So ina contribute, huyo msichana ataenda huko nje na atafuta hiyo 100. Atakuja apate Nelson, ampatie 100, and then there will be the exchange. And there's equally the access to maybe sanitary towels. We've seen so many girls at the community level. Mtu atakuja akuambie mimi sina pad na hakuna kitu yenye naweza fanya, sitavaa nguo, sitavaa cotton wool and all that. So atafanya nini? Si atarudi pale tu mtaani, apatane na mwanaume amwambie mimi nitakupea hiyo 50 bob ama hiyo 100 bob. What will resort to that? Either atapata ball, atapata HIV, atapata even other diseases. So poverty is one of the highest contributor to the teenage pregnancies that we have. And most of these girls, if you sit them down and ask them, they will give you the same answer. Kwambie, mimi nilitoka hapo, nikaenda nikapatana na mtu kwa sababu hakuwa na food home. Sikuwa na sanitary towel, sikuwa even the normal commodities that we need as a girl or rather as a woman. And she's equally bringing them to the point, amepata mtoto wa kwanza, ni sawa, anatoka, anarudi tena kutafutia huyu mtoto, anapata mtoto mwingine. And the circle continues and continues. And as a young person, I feel that we need to have a contribution to these young mothers and these teenage girls and make them know that we have some socio-economic activities that they can be involved. For us to try and stop all that, or we are trying to empower adolescent girls and teenage mothers to have a healthier and safer community. And that's why we have such economic activities, wanafunzwa kushona, wanafunzwa kutengeneza sabuni and all that. And the reason we are doing this, we are not just empowering them as young girls, because we are trying to empower, and we always say when you empower a girl, you are empowering a community. Hao wanatoka hapo, wanaenda pia wao, wana-empower other girls, and the cycle continues. So if when you tuko hapa, as much as we are trying to involve the girls, again we need to involve the boys, because tumejituma, like Jerop said, the routine, not even the routine, the programs, most programs support girls, and we are finding we are empowering these girls, and they are going back to the same boys that are not empowered. And that is why we are doing this and the theme for today, because we want involvement of all men. Kwa sababu wao wanaume pia wao wenye wako kwa community, dem akikuja hapo akwambie hana pad, na the only thing that she can give in return is maybe sex or anything, Then if this man is empowered, huyo mtu anaweza mwambia najua Jerome, najua Martin, najua Belinda, or somewhere that she can access. Hata kuwa na haraka hiyo ya kumwambia wewe tufanye hivi ama hivi so that mimi nikubaie hivyo. Thank you.
All right, thank you Cleopatra, and thank you for even sharing how ni fiti sana wakati tunafanya empowerment tusikwe tunasahau vijana nyuma, because they equally play a role when it comes to HIV response. And equally also mentioning something about economic empowerment for women, for them to be able to get other sources of income, which again supports their livelihoods. Thank you so much, Royal.
Asante sana, Stella. So it's really important that you mentioned about young men, sindio? And Nelson, kwa kifupi, sawa, kwa kifupi, you know, wewe kama kijana, right, as a young man, and you practice self-care, yeah? In matters of health, does it portray weakness when a young man seeks healthcare services? Kwa kifupi, sawa.
Thank you, Ariel. I'll start by saying that the greatest determinant of good health is self-care. If you are able to know that you are feeling headache, you are able to feel that you have a cut on your lip or somewhere within your hands, it moves you to take a step and seek for medical attention. So if you're not able to know or be self-aware, then it's very hard for you to also know, at this point I need a healthcare professional opinion. At this point, this is a step that I need. And my question to answer that is, would you pick self-awareness and good health against perception to be weak? It's actually good to be in good health, regardless of whether someone will feel, Nelson, you are weak. Nelson, you are this. So for me, it can never be a point to say that you are weak, to share either a feeling that you have. And that is why I'm also a writer. I've written a book called Pieces of Hope. And I've described a lot of issues around self-care. The first time I realized I had a cut on my right limb, how I got to my grandmother and told her, this is what is happening. And then the step that grandmom took was to take me to hospital. And that goes to young people. Is there someone close to you who you can talk to and tell them, this is what I'm feeling? Is there a point of action? What can I do at this point? And where can we go next? So I think to young people, it goes to who is close to you, do you have the information, and what is the immediate step that you can take? It's not going to be a weakness on that part. Thank you.
Maybe Nelson, I'll ask a follow-up question. Najua tunaongelelea story ya self-care, ama nyinyi mnajua self-care ni nini? Mnajua self-care ni nini? Mnajua? But I would also love to hear from Nelson. Very brief. Hata na Kiswahili. How best can we define self-care in this case?
I'm always sticking to the word self-awareness. Because the point of knowing how your body reacts to even the cold weather or hot weather, you are able to know what is the next step of action. And that will also determine if you are to exercise, what will move you to do the exercise. If you are to go to hospital, what is moving you to hospital? So for me, the easiest terminology I can use is self-awareness. So if you are able to understand yourself, accept yourself, and then you are able to really know what action to take at what point.
All right. Thank you, Nelson. My next question will be to Lois.